Just when you thought it could get any worse. Okay girls, so this video is about art flow, periods, menses, whatever you want to call it. It's all about training, exercise, nutrition with your period. I don't even know where to start with this. There's a lot of things that I could talk about, but I'm going to try and keep it pretty simple for today's video. Essentially, we all get periods. It sucks. There's obviously a lot of pain and discomfort. For some people, much worse than others. So I wanted to give you some practical suggestions for how to minimize, I guess, some of those side effects, and also what to do with your training, because obviously it can really impede that if it's bad enough. What happens is we have two phases, I guess, of our cycle. We have the luteal phase and the follicular phase. So the follicular phase, I feel like I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Someone's gonna pull me up on it, whatever. The first phase is the follicular phase. That's where we're about to kind of ovulate. And then the second phase is the luteal phase, and that is, I guess, when there's quite a few changes to our hormones, specifically progesterone, and that can actually be one of the main contributors to why we start to feel not so great. We start to get a lot of symptoms, bloating, abdominal distension, because of the hormonal changes that take place as a result. What I would recommend doing is, if you are somebody that gets a lot of cramps, a lot of pain, is to make sure that that particular week of exercise isn't the most difficult week of your training block. If it was scheduled to be like your biggest hitting, most amount of volume, then repeat week 1 where your volume is a lot less, or the intensity is a lot less, because it's going to be super difficult as it is. Why make it harder when we're also on our period? I think it's super important not to expect PRs during that week. Expect to maybe have some decreases in your strength. That's certainly been observed in some of the studies that we have on follicular versus luteal phase. And I would also make sure that you're definitely not programming any like max strength testing. Quick example, like I was competing in my last powerlifting meet, and I literally got my cycle on the day of my meet. It was really hard. So if you're someone that's taking contraception, try to skip your period if you're going to have a meet or something that's really important where you need to be at your, epitome of strength. From a nutrition standpoint, kind of slightly moving topics here, there are a couple of things that you can do that I certainly recommend to clients to help make this period a little less uncomfortable. So the first thing would be to reduce the amount of dietary fiber just for that week. Now, I'm a dietitian, I advocate dietary fiber. It's super important for so many things. However, these few days you can probably do without quite as much. It's going to help reduce the overall amount of discomfort, bloating, and just general pain. If your normal day's intake of fiber is, say, 25 to 30 grams, I would recommend halving it. That way you're not going to have additional pressure, especially if you're eating soluble fiber, which is very osmotic. It draws in a lot of water. That's going to help reduce the degree of the symptoms. The second thing that you might like to do is also reduce your sodium intake. I've had many examples where clients have special events on, they're doing a photo shoot, they're competing, and their cycle is due in that week, which is just awful. If they do, I highly recommend reducing the amount of sodium in your diet. So it doesn't have to be a huge decrease, but somewhere in the realm of, say, 15 to 20% less than what your normal average is. And that's going to help minimize the amount of total body water we have, or the amount of swelling or fluid retention, so that you're not feeling already worse than you were having your period. So again, these are just a few quick recommendations that can help you if you are somebody that really struggles with your menstrual cycle, how to get around training, what not to do, what to avoid, and what to expect when it comes to your period. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.